Hey everyone, this is Sandra Kwan. Going to today's topic related to Korean history and culture, I thought it would be interesting to note one of the notorious Korean ways that had a national transformation for the country. Because of these efforts, we can see how it laid the groundwork for its independence through the perseverance and sacrifices of the people involved. Korea's journey to independence is a multifaceted historical narrative that expands across many centuries. Some key points we will address are the historical background, the colonial period with Japanese influence, the Korean independence movement, and some key figures. Going into the historical background, from 1910 to 1945, which was the era that was part of World War II, Korea was also called Chosun at the time, became subjected to Japanese ruling. Even though both countries had isolationist policies, Japan eventually found itself to modernize itself through open borders. Soon after that, Japan would try to open up Korea's borders under the Japan-Korea Treaty of 1876. Fast forward, since the assassination of Empress Myeongsong and the intervention of the Dong-Hae-Peksa Revolution, Japan was making moves to try to absorb Korea after defeating Russia in 1904 through 1905. And then after forcing Korean Emperor Gojong to relinquish his throne in 1907, Japan formally colonized Korea under the Japan-Korea Treaty of 1910. Under Japanese colonial rule, this period expressed the cultural expression of Korean culture within the country. As a result, Korean citizens had to assimilate by limiting their own identity through culture and language to avoid backlash by Japanese authorities. So what was the goal of Japanese imperialism? It is to strip Korea of the roots, but why? By removing their roots in history, Koreans become detached from their own historical memory and are very easy for the Japanese to manipulate by doing their own bidding. As a result, authorities have burned over 200,000 Korean historical documents. And not only this, they also force worship upon the people as another act of cultural genocide, which got Koreans to adopt Shinto out of fear. By doing all of this, the goal was to possibly avoid any uprising by starting with assimilating what it means to be Korean and the attachment to their own identity as a Korean person. As a result, it was kind of successful in impacting some populations as Korean people start to shift to working for the Japanese. Not only there was a loss of culture, there were also many losses of life. According to the statistics of Japanese genocide, 270,000 to 810,000 were dead across 7 years due to forced labor toll and murder in Korea. Not only this, the Japanese regime murdered nearly over 3 million to 10 million people, including Chinese, Indonesians, Koreans, Filipinos, Indochinese, among others. And the following is the list of atrocities that Japan has committed in Korea. It has been argued that for Korea's prosperity after the war was due to Japan's modernization during occupation. However, all the police, factories, and trains were all for the benefit of the Japanese by continuing to take on Korean timber, rice, fish, coal, and cotton to Japan. And for the following slide will be a video with sensitive material related to the late Kim Bok-dong story as a comfort woman. The purpose of showing the following video is to highlight the reality for women at the time. Please note the information may be disturbing as she details graphic moments during Japanese occupation.
큰 학교인가 무슨 공장인가는 모르겠지만도 이런 넓어. 그래 방위에 턱 올라서서 이래 보면은 그쪽 방에 있는 거 다 보여요. 그 누워가지고 하는 것까지 다 보여요. 억지로 끌려가서 기사대기 몇 차례 맞고 그 말로 듣고 나이 아주 그 나이가 어리니까 피가 막 나잖아요. 담요에 피가 모두 묻고 이런 거. 그래 그거를 끌고 날이 새자 끌고 그 빨래터로 올라가니까 친구 둘이도 그래 당하고 앉아가 울고 있더라고. 이래가 우리가 어떻게 살겠나. 차라리 죽는 게 안 낫겠나.
As a woman myself, I want to take time to acknowledge the struggles of these women and empathize with their story. The statue you see in the picture is called the Statue of Peace in Jeongju Pungnamnon Square, which is representative of the comfort women who were victims of war. In the following is a list of resistance movements. An iconic moment in Korea's rebellion for independence was the March 1st movement, which sought to regain Korean sovereignty. During this event, Korean leaders announced the Declaration of Independence. Students would also go out with ordinary people to stage protests and demonstrations to spread the message across the country to increase the nationalist sentiment of restoring their own autonomy in an oppressed state. Because of these iconic movements for Korean independence, shows called saguk are forms of film drama that are based on historical events. For example, Mr. Sunshine is a fictional Korean drama that takes place before the Japanese annexation. It focuses on the Righteous Army, which is an informal army that helped the National Army in times of need. This was a real organization that was prominent in the Jeolla province in the southwestern area of Korea. They were considered to be the natural defenders against the Japanese occupation of Korea and fought for their own independence. Here are some of the leading figures who acted in resistance to the current oppressive rule. Also in Mr. Sunshine, they based off the main character Eugene off of Wang Ki-hwan, who is an actual Korean U.S. Army officer who served during World War I before returning to Korea to fight for the sovereignty of Korea. The people's unwavering faith for their country showcases their resilience to go through many difficult trials and tribulations of resisting against oppressive powers and getting to where they are right now as a current superpower house after many political, economic, and social developments. Through this journey, their bravery, leadership, and sacrifice continues to inspire Koreans and others around the world today.